stealth tax, fiscal drag. What does it mean and why should you care? So you've probably heard of the terms stealth tax and fiscal drag. Now, a great way of describing what this means is with the inheritance tax nil rate band. So you may be aware that the nil rate band is £325,000, and that essentially means that you can have an estate value, so a total number of net assets in your estate, valued at £325,000 before you pay any inheritance tax. Now, that £325,000 has been in place since 2009, and it is going to be frozen until 2030. So it's quite staggering here when we think about the fact that in that period of time since 2009, if we just take property values, for example, they have increased by over 60%. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if you had a property worth 325 grand in 2009, no inheritance tax due. Today, that same property would be worth 520 grand. Therefore, the excess, which is at 40%, so you're going to be looking at 78 grand, £78,000 worth of tax. And there's been no real increase in your asset value. The only increase has been inflationary. So it's literally, the increase is just because the proportionate increase relative to other properties doesn't exist. And yet you're looking down at a 78 grand tax bill. And that could be worse depending on how it interacts with other reliefs. So basically, stealth tax is not increasing allowances in line with inflation. That is a simple way of putting about stealth tax or a fiscal drag. It's easy for politicians to do this because they are seen to not be increasing the tax rate, but in truth, they're allowing the effects of inflation, which is they wave their hands up as in that's not them. They are allowing the effects of inflation to simply increase the tax take. Any questions, drop them in the comments. There are methods to maximize your nil rate band. People think you only get one in your lifetime, but actually you can have more than one if you get the planning in place. So drop me a follow for more, engage, great.